Hello everyone, welcome to Cakap Adik Beradik. While we get set up and getting my siblings all ready, I hope you are comfortable watching from where you are. Watching from where you are, the comfort of your home, I hope, and then hopefully the sharing that we will be doing in the next 45 minutes, hopefully, will benefit us. And then end of the day, this is something that we can use it. I mean, we can. It benefits us in whatever decision we're gonna make in the future, right? Before let me just double check with my siblings. Are they ready? Later, once they are on, I will give how this thing will pan out. Is basically we will talk about the objective, a bit of introduction before we dive into today's topic, which is divorce, start of your property nightmare. I think if you know me, I mean, most of you know me as a real estate agent. So basically, in my day-to-day dealings with properties and all that, there are a situation where the property needs to be sold because of divorce, and this is something that we will discuss on the processes, the issues, the challenges, and how it really affects not only the family but the property itself. So end of the day, the talk will anchor back into what I think very important to us, real estate or property for that matter, like I mentioned earlier. So without further ado, I hope my siblings are ready. Are they ready? Wait, let me just double check. Time is 8:57. Yeah, we got 3 more minutes. Meantime, if you are watching, you like I will be very, very happy if you share the link. Get your family and friends to come and join us. This is something that I believe. I am a strong believer of knowledge is power. So this is how we share what we know to the public out there. So do share this link, this Facebook Live to your friends and family. Okay, I think they are ready. So let me just change the banner for a while. Okay, can you guys unmute yourself? I'll be showing you guys. Okay, this is better. Hello.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum semua. Okay, yes. These are my sisters. Okay. Unfortunately, my brother is not able to join us today. I think he's not feeling well, so it's okay. I'm sure he's watching, and I hope our parents watching. I hope they are watching.
Yes, I can confirm that.
Okay, yeah, they are watching. Interestingly, no. Okay. The objective. Okay. Maybe let me start formally. Assalamualaikum, everyone out there, and to the non-Muslim, welcome to our maiden live talk show called Cakap Adik Beradik, which if you translate in English, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys can correct me. It's siblings conversation lah. I think that's the thing I can come up with. That's the thing I could think of. Siblings conversation. Why siblings conversation or Cakap Adik Beradik? I think I've not seen my siblings for the last 3 months. I mean, physically. We've been Zooming and all that kind of stuff. I think we miss the times where we sit at our parents' place, talking sometimes nonsense. Most of the time nonsense lah. As siblings, we talk nonsense, but at times we discuss about our work challenges, the kind of people we encounter and all that kind of thing. So it somehow struck upon me that I think this is a good platform for us to translate that conversation in the living room, like what you're seeing behind me, into a platform that we are able to share a bit of our knowledge to the community, basically. And most important, I believe, is for us to pay it forward. Am I right, sisters? Yeah,
That's right.
I think we have benefited through the system and all that. I think it's time for us to pay it forward to the community, so that we are, in our small way, we are able to contribute and hopefully make our community more affluent and more empowered. That's our main that's our main objective. Now, okay, maybe before we start proper, I want to let my sister do some introduction. Up to them what they want to say. This is nothing is scripted here. It's really like siblings talking to each other. So I think I let Ilya, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm Hilya. I am a social worker by training. Okay. I've been in this profession for 20 years. And in the last few years, I've been specializing in working with children and parents. Okay. Parents who may be going through some difficult times with parenting with their children. So we talk about how we can do positive parenting as well as safe parenting. Okay, and these families could be from intact families, they could be from divorced families, or they could be caregivers of young children. So this is my specialty for the time being. Yeah. So I hope I can contribute in whatever way I can in tonight's conversation.
Oh, 20 years. Wow, that's time really flies. Oh my God. Okay.
But I still look 30 lah. Yeah.
Yeah, but we had a joke about your background last night, so never mind. We leave that aside. Anyway, okay, maybe next, my baby sister.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nur Amalina. I'm a lawyer. I was called to the bar in August 2018. So I've been in practice for slightly under 2 years. My main focus is in family law. I do a lot of Sharia divorce cases, Muslim inheritance advisory work, will drafting, and issues on property is very much embedded in my work lah. So I hope that I can contribute also. I only have 2 years in experience. My sister has 20, so we shall see.
Interesting, So you know how old are we, and then how old is she, lah? But anyway, yeah. I mean, just to share, my Amelina and me, the age gap is 17 years, correct?
That's right.
Wow, 17 years. Oh my God. But I still, like I said, I still look stunning. And then, more. Okay, maybe a bit about myself now. I think I bit about myself. Those of you who don't know me, yeah, I spent most of my life, I think 15 years in the what do you call that, media industry as head of IT. And I was called to real estate, not to the bar. I was called to real estate full time for last 5 years, but I was doing real estate for the last more than 10 years lah. So, but I was called to real estate last 5 years. So, last 5 years I've been a full-fledged or full-time real estate agent. So, we are a family of 4. I mean the siblings. One more is Nazri Hadi. Hopefully the next round he can come and join us. So give a bit of introduction. He's also from the media. Maybe most of you would know him. And yeah, currently I'm staying on my own. Hila is staying on her own, and Amelina is still bunking with my parents. Yeah, that's the thing. All right. So I hope if you have, okay, guys out there, if you have any questions or any comments, just feel free to comment in the comment box. We are more than happy to see comments and shares, and hopefully you can share this video or this live feed with whoever and wherever. All right. Okay. Without further ado, I think let me bring up what we are going to talk about today. I mean, I don't know whether, Hila and Amalina, let me understand. Is divorce a taboo subject in today's context?
Don't think so.
Not really.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
Huh? So it's
I think
something
to an
quite...
extent, I'm quite desensitized to it.
Okay, because of profession lah,
Yeah, correct.
I'm sure that's good. I think that's one of the reasons why we want to have this kind of conversation, because it allows for different perspective. I believe not everything is template, right? Every case is different, right? Yeah, I think similarly with real estate lah. All right. Now, so of course we tie back divorce with this is the topic that I came up with lah, divorce, start of your property nightmare, because later I share some of my experiences with handling divorce cases where selling and selling of their property is concerned lah, right? So, okay, Hilia, Malina, maybe I don't know, maybe one of you can start, maybe enlighten me because of my lack of knowledge on the the process of divorce, because I think, okay, for viewers out there, we'll be talking more of the Sharia law per se. I mean, it's not so much, maybe if there's question on civil law, maybe Amalina can answer later, but the conversation will revolve around Sharia law kind of divorce lah, right? So the process, okay, what happens when it comes to, as far as I know, when it comes to Sharia law or Islamic law, Muslim law for that matter, when the husband lafaz, or what do you call it, pronounce
Pronounce.
the term cerai, talak or cerai, what happens? Maybe, I bring, who wants to answer first?
Malina.
Okay, I
I
bring
can
you
go.
up. Right, yes.
Okay. So there is the hukum aspect, and then there's also the court process. So let's say your husband dah lafaz talak, has pronounced the talak. By hukum, if you are there, it's not disputed, his niyat was clear to divorce the wife, then by hukum, I would think that dah cerai lah. At that point in time, they have divorced. But in Singapore's context, you will need that divorce, that pronouncement to be, to be validated by the courts. And also with your, with any divorce, if any separation, there are other ancillary issues lah, we call them. You have to deal with your the custody issues of your children, the division of assets, largely to do with your matrimonial property. And also in the context of Sharia divorce, we have to talk about nafkah idah and muta'ah lah. So the pronouncement itself is, in the legal perspective, does not signify much until the divorce has officially commenced. Yes, that would be, yeah.
Wow, very cheap, but anyway, okay. Right. So, okay, maybe to put it in a layman's term, maybe I don't know. From what I understand, so for example, the husband say reenactment, example, aku ceraikan kau. Okay. So what happens is, in the perspective of Islam, the cerai is actually valid. Am I right? Am I right to say that?
Sorry, can you say the...
So when
the
let's
ending
say
tak dengar tadi.
the husband pronounce, lafaz, aku ceraikan kau. So in the from Islamic perspective, the cerai is valid. But in the Singapore Sharia law context, there is a process. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, understand. Okay, maybe Hilia want to touch about the implication for such a pronunciation or whatever you call it. Yeah. Hello? What happened to Hilia? Okay. Yeah. Hang on, suddenly she disappeared, but never mind.
Dia malu.
Maybe Amalina, you wanna continue?
Continue.
Maybe what you wanna say about additional things to the pronunciation. So the process,
Okay, so
for example, after okay, let me after I the guy or the male made that pronunciation, what is the next process where either party is concerned? In a briefly lah,
okay. Okay, so Abang, you start from the point of view of the man. So correct lah.
Okay.
That is the reason for the man to commence divorce, that he has pronounced the talak. Tapi
Okay.
for women, they also can commence even without the husband pronouncing the talak lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So doesn't mean that you are the wife in the marriage. You have there's no way that you can ask for a divorce lah.
I see.
So perhaps I shall open up the discussion a bit.
Wow, this is interesting. Okay. Wow. Sorry for the lack of knowledge. But okay, Hila is back. What happened? I don't know. Maybe
Oh,
got
good
blackout.
afternoon.
Never put the.
Oh, you see me, then you don't. Macam biskut. Okay.
Yeah. I
What
mean,
was the question?
the question was the social impact from the start or when the male or the husband pronounce the talak. What is the implication or what is the process that either party can seek in that sense?
Well, as far as I know, if we are talking about Sharia cases, right?
Yep.
So if they were to so-called make the a complaint to the Sharia court, they will be asked to go for mandatory counselling lah. Yeah. So that's when the counsellors will talk through with them in regards to the decision to divorce, to go ahead with the divorce or not, the implications on the family, the children especially, and any other ancillary matters lah. Yeah. So in the context of what I do, we normally see cases that have already gone through divorce or going through or even planning to. Yeah, so it depends from which source of referral they may come from lah. Yeah, so
Maybe talk from the when they are planning. What happens?
when they are planning, I guess it's also I mean, I don't want to go so deep into
Yeah.
this aspect, but just to share that for some cases that I have seen before, it will be what we call marital recovery kind of sessions lah, or conversations that we have. So how much do they want to? I'm just talking both in a general context. Yeah. So we'll talk about possibility of marital recovery and the implications and all that lah. So a lot of times, for I from my experience, I meet with families with children a lot of times, most times. So it's also the impact of the decision to separate that may impact the children lah. Yeah. So a lot of times, I mean, couples, some of them may not be so attuned to how the kids might be affected lah. So a lot of conversations around some of these things. Yeah, not just about having parents separated, but it's also the idea of a complete family. Where are they gonna stay next? Are they gonna have to change school? Are they gonna separate from their siblings if they have a few siblings, and the custody issues and all that? So a lot of social emotional impact on children that parents may not be so attuned to lah. Yeah, so that will be part of the conversations that we may have. Yep.
So if I may ask, I mean those cases are considered like still yes or no, right? In
So
a way.
maybe if it's a Muslim couple, they may not have pronounced the talak, but they have
Oh,
been
okay.
talking about
I see.
getting separated. Yeah, but I also see non-Muslim couples who
Hmm.
would one party would already have made the application lah. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. So okay, so interesting. So before means they both of the couple understand that they have, or rather agree that they have a problem. Correct. So they seek counseling through whatever whatever means lah. So okay, maybe give us
Nizam, if I could add,
yeah, please.
if
The
I could
lawyer.
add, sometimes even the husband even commences the divorce application without having pronounced the talak. So I have encountered such cases. So dah start tau, dah file all the papers to officially begin the process, but he hasn't even pronounced the talak.
So how was the validity of that?
So I mean, in the documents you can explain lah what is the reasons behind the breakdown of the marriage, and eventually, of course, as the husband, you yang nak cerai, right? So eventually you have to pronounce lah. But I guess some people they hang on to some glimmer of hope lah throughout. So they are more conservative lah in
Malina,
refraining from
I
pronouncing.
mean, your based on what you said, your encounters are those already cerai, already correct, officially cerai. Am I right?
Not all lah. It will
Okay.
depend lah. As in, most of the time, people come to see a lawyer when they have made up their mind lah. That's
Correct.
what you're saying lah. Yeah. If they are still ragu-ragu, they're still not sure, then of course they wouldn't go to the extent of engaging a lawyer yet lah.
So, I want to ask both of you, how many in terms of maybe percentage lah, that these cases can be saved, these marriages can be saved from your encounters, from your.
My crystal ball. Okay.
Kakak lah, marital recovery, right, Kak?
Very hard to give you numbers. Yeah, but
Then, maybe based on your encounters,
Very
I
rare
get
lah.
example, out of 5 couple that see you, maybe one recovered or one rujuk, or they call it, is it rujuk, is it, or something like that?
maybe just one. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe just one.
So
Because
maybe
when people seek help at social services, it's often their last resort. They would have exhausted any other means. Dah berbual dengan mak bapak lah, dah consult friends and all that, and then dah whatever lah. But they will only go for counselling as a last resort. So by the time they almost already decided. Yeah.
So I just don't understand, how do they allocate counselors? I mean, is it based on district, or how does, let's say a couple is thinking about divorce, so they go and seek help from where, MCY,
So there's MSF, MCYS long time ago. Okay, so
my
MSF,
friend told me. Okay.
MSF has this comcare call lah, 1-800
Oh.
something. So they
Okay.
will need to key in their postal code, and then they will be routed to the
I
social
see.
service agency nearest to them. That is
So
for
once you do that, is considered your track lah. So you cannot go to another counselor and all that lah.
can, of course you can go to private counselors, private therapists, all this. So there's no stopping you. Yeah.
Yeah, but in that case, let's say a couple go to you, you manage to so-called say, okay, don't divorce, whatever lah. Put it very simply, so they can actually, after a while, go to another counselor and then also divorce.
Can.
So would it be tracked in that sense, in terms of the?
Track
Yeah,
very hard lah. If they go to different organizations, I don't think we
I see. Okay.
able
So
to track
the
that.
fellow can go to 10 counselors and still divorce
Correct.
Yeah, probably got a lot of time Anyway.
People contemplate divorce. I've met women especially who would have put up with the marriage, so put it simply, for 30, 40 years. And then they come and see someone to talk about, I think I need to get out of this marriage. So I've
Understand.
met some of these women as well. So
Yeah, of course. I think it's sad, but I think it's a reality. Right. Maybe, I mean, okay, later I can share. But I think, Amalina, since you are a lawyer, right? There are some questions that I've written down. Okay, from legal perspective, lah, I think marriage cannot be safe already. So what are the maybe you just go through the general process of how the divorce process is going to be lah.
Okay. So when one party, either the husband or the wife, that attend the mandatory counselling, can submit the what we call the originating documents lah, meaning to start the process. So once that is submitted in court, the court will issue a mediation date. So this mediation, that's the first time you will meet in court lah, basically, for Sharia court.
Okay.
So at the mediation, generally the mediators will ask you, the first question they will ask you is, if let's say is the husband's application, sama ada dah buat keputusan muktamad lah, whether the decision is final to to proceed with the divorce. Then for the wife yang is the one who comments the divorce proceedings, and then of course the mediator will also ask you, confirm you want to proceed, and then they'll ask the husband, husband, do you agree to divorce her? So at that stage kan, when the husband says no, I don't want to divorce her, the mediation ends there, because the mediator's role is to find a way for parties to separate amicably. rather than to try to
Bring them back.
force them. Yes,
Oh,
yes,
that's the
most
role
of
of the
the time lah.
mediator.
Most of
Wow.
the time, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
I
that
mean the mediator can have some kata-kata mutiara, can advise the parties lah. Your
yeah.
husband don't want to divorce you. Maybe you can check with him. Maybe you can check with her what's wrong. These kind of things lah. But usually, from the legal perspective, the mediation ends there and then. Because my role as a lawyer is not to help you get back together. My role is to make sure your rights are protected in the divorce. I am not
Understood.
trained to assist you to reconcile the marriage lah. So
Understood.
that's how it starts lah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, maybe we dive into the perspective from real estate perspective rather from property lah. So I think you send me wow, she actually sent me a lot of things just to show you. Typical lawyer but anyway, right. Okay. The scenario of maybe talk about HDB. Couple apa tu what do you call that? Divorce. Both of them own the HDB. What are the most common thing that this couple need to understand and know about their HDB from a legal perspective?
Okay, so whenever a client comes to me, I usually have a checklist of what I need to ask, what I need to ascertain from the client lah. So
Okay.
first things first, your MOP, has it been met? So
MOP.
HDB you have to, there's a minimum occupation period
Wait,
of 5 years.
wait. Correct. You must explain that. A lot of people
M
don't know what MOP. Mop, mop the house. MOP.
baru nak explain lah.
Oh, sorry.
So MOP MOP, minimum occupation period. So you must stay in your flat. You must own it for at least 5 years lah. Correct kan abang?
Correct. Yes.
So and if your MOP has not been met, means you cannot sell your property in the open market. So
Correct.
that's one of the first things that I check with the client lah. And then if the client, let's say the MOP dah lepas, so dah more than 5 years,
Okay.
then I will do a simple check on HDB's website based on how many room the flat is and the location. Would it be a positive or negative sale? So kalau I would need the information. I would need the agak-agak resale price. I will need to know whether masih ada outstanding loan on the flat. And I also need to know roughly both parties punya how much CPF they have used towards payment of the flat.
By the way, viewers, my sister say agak-agak the resale price. She always text me. So I'm the informer rather to tell her, this location what is the estimated
I always
valuation.
message Aizam to ask.
So that's why we always talk each other about certain things. Yeah, okay, correct. Sorry,
And
continue.
I also message Cakap about counselling matters also sometimes.
Yeah, that's the unique thing. That's why I really like this platform so that we can share with viewers what we actually talk about, where work is concerned. Yes, please continue.
Yeah, so from that, from knowing the resale price, from knowing the CPF refund, and from knowing the outstanding mortgage loan, you can roughly calculate what would be, whether it's going to be a positive or negative sale. So from there you can decide lah nak jual ke, nak transfer to one party and so on. That's the starting point.
I mean that one that one is most of the time agent punya role lah, correct? Yeah, in that sense I mean more of the detail calculation and all that.
Actually some couples they actually consult property agents, when they are undergoing divorce.
Yeah, I know. Correct. Later I share some interesting stories. Okay, I want to ask you this part where when you indicate in your Excel sheet, surrender to HDB. Is that because from my years of experience, I've never seen a case where the flat is surrendered back to HDB when it comes to divorce. Maybe and can enlighten us because some of my real estate friends are also watching. I see. Wow, not bad.
It's usually the last resort lah. When for example MOP belum lepas, so the MOP is not clear, you can't sell. So means you have to either transfer to either party lah. That's the option that you have. And then but the thing is, if you want the flat to be transferred to you, you need to be able to afford it in the first place.
Correct.
So And you also need to be eligible. Sebab it's HDB flat, you need to be able to form your family nucleus lah. You need to be at least
Policy
35,
lah, yeah.
for the single scheme and everything. So if let's say both sides, both parties cannot afford, do not qualify for a loan that is enough to continue owning the flat, meaning to service the outstanding loan alone, and also to refund the other party's CPF. This is the default position lah. Kalau you want the house to be transferred from this person to this person, then this person needs to pay back the other person's CPF.
Correct, yeah.
So they are left with surrendering lah. Basically, that it would be the last option.
So how does, I mean, the lawyers will write to HDB, or how does it work? You know,
It's actually, so in the papers that we draft for the divorce, you have to indicate what is your proposal on the division of your matrimonial flat. So this is where you have to consider your options lah.
Yeah, true. I think from a real estate perspective, I've seen a lot of cases where, you know, because I think when it comes to divorce, it's more emotional, and a lot of them forget about the so-called assets or whatever they hold, and then whether, you know, like what you just said, for example, husband wants out, wife not working, cannot take over the house, that kind of thing. So end of the day, it can be quite detrimental, right, Hilya, when it comes to the family unit itself. So have you seen these kind of cases?
Definitely. Yes, definitely.
So what is the recourse for this kind of situation? They cannot afford the house. Husband wants out. They cannot afford the house. The house needs to be surrendered back to HDB. So what happens?
It's usually a lot of ding dong, very, very long process. Very, very long
This
process.
I know.
And like you say, it's very emotionally draining.
It's a
Yeah.
roller
So
coaster, right?
yeah. So the couples or one of them will be almost distressed lah that something like this is happening. And then then like I said earlier, the impact on the children. So a lot of times the so-called decision or the process gets dragged because they can't come up with a solution lah, so to speak. Yeah. So it's a very tedious and emotionally draining process.
Yeah. Interesting. Maybe I just want to share a bit about my experience dealing with divorced couple. I got one. I think you are right. I mean, just from a real estate perspective, right? I've seen divorce cases that is above 50, 60 years old. I think it's something I never thought of. I was like, it's real. I mean, people out there, it's real. So and a lot of, when it comes to, because the children are no longer young, are also adults. So the complication and whatever not, it's really has a detrimental effect, in my opinion, not only to the properties that they own and also to the family themselves lah. So I've one case. I mean, okay, to be honest, as a real estate agent, I'm all in one. Meaning I can become a social worker, I can become a lawyer, I can become a mediator, I can also become a banker at times. You know, I mean, this is just the role we play, different hat. But I've done one case that I can recall is where the husband filed for divorce already. Okay, they have 10 kids. I was like, and the house, the flat that they own was the bank was chasing. They had another thing 2 days before the bank seized the property. So on the second last day before the bank seized, it happened that they chanced upon us, the husband lah, chanced upon us, and we it was really like an urgent case lah, because got 10 children plus you 12 plus the couple 12, and if the bank sees the property, where they're going to stay. So immediately we went, and I was really, I never done this before in my life, so I said, abang, kakak, listen to me, okay? If you really want to move on with your life because you cannot stand each other, think of the children. But first thing, if you want to sell the house without the bank seizing, don't cerai first. I tell them straight in the face, don't cerai first. So the abang was like angry. but I was really adamant about it lah. I say end of the day, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Amalina, the cerai process is not going to take 1 day, 2 day, right? It may be, you can drag 1 year, 2 years, even more, right? So I told him, if you want to have that kind of stress, I think then it's up to you lah. But if you really want to move on amicably, then where the house is concerned, we need to urgently market it lah. So we wrote to the bank hold for a while because they know we are marketing it, and then Alhamdulillah managed to sell the house within a short period of time. Both got back their CPF, whatever, move on. And I told them, after this, I hope you all consider reconciling, because of your children and all that. But end of the day, this up to them lah. That's from my role lah. I mean, I'm not trained a counselor or whatever, but to me, from a bigger perspective, I told them that they really need to look at it objectively lah. If not, the process can makan masa like don't know what, and it could just end of the day they could end up without a roof over their head and still fighting for divorce. Correct? Yeah. So another thing that we property agent, real estate agent, always encounter is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 90% of divorce are not amicable, right? It's really, Malay word dahsyat one, right? Sometimes, yeah. So how, and when it comes to selling the HDB, for example, it meets the MOP, they're able to sell, and it's a positive sale. So people out there, positive sale means there's profit. Of course, based on court order, we need to understand what are the terms and conditions of the court order. We cannot anyhow sell and then split the money. No, end of the day, the court order has to be effected when it comes to the sale. So importantly also, and when it comes to marketing, right? Wife one agent, husband one agent. That's the most headache for me because why? To me, it's a lose-lose situation. For agents, it's okay, but for the couples and all that, it's everything pay double, correct? The legal fee, the commission, because I mean we run a business, so we cannot be doing charity or pro bono most of the time. But end of the day, it's about having that consensus. Okay, this is another interesting one. Couple divorced already. Supposed to their flat have an MOP, but they already divorced. Fortunately, court order says sell the flat, and HDB gave approval to sell the flat. So okay, but husband and wife not in talking terms. So I remember I sat down with them in McDonald's. Like I remember that time like safe distancing, one fella there, one fella there. Like really like safe distancing kind of situation. But I tell them, I don't care. To me, my objective is very clear: to sell your flat to the best price, so that you guys can take your money, take your CPF back, split the profit based on court order, and move on. So initially, they wanted to engage agents themselves. I mean, one agent each lah. But I convinced them that it's not gonna help you in any way, because why? You see, I have situation where, for example, divorce. I representing the husband. Husband already move out. The wife stays in the flat. As an agent, it's very difficult for me to bring buyers because the wife would be reluctant. I mean, this is just example. I'm not saying it happens, but some are reluctant because there's always vindication, the feeling of vindictive inside themselves, and also when it comes to getting the price, also very difficult. They make the situation difficult for themselves. So it's not always very rosy. But as property agent, we try to, like I said, we play multiple roles. I mean, this is something that maybe people don't know. To ensure a smooth process so that people can move on, we also need to play our role in terms of, not only as a property agent, but also sometimes as a brother, as a sister. Sometimes you need to show empathy. Sometimes you need to show your authority. These are things that I tell you, that's why I love my job. That's the best thing about it lah. And of course, what are the positive sale? Okay, for the male to understand, right? Maybe not everybody, or not all males understand. When you lafaz the divorce, what are the claims that the wife can claim from the husband in general lah?
Okay, so upon the divorce in the Sharia context, the wife has a claim to nafkah ida,
Mm-hmm.
firstly. Nafkah ida is monthly. You're supposed to maintain your wife for a duration of 3
Okay,
consecutive months after the divorce.
three
So these
consecutive
3 months so these 3 months represent the period of time where you're able to rujuk lah without having to remarry. That's why you need
Okay.
to continue maintaining her. So that's one. The next thing is muta'ah. Muta'ah is a consolatory gift. That's how we refer to it. So it is the wife's right to receive lah.
Mm.
Okay. And then also on top of that, there's also division of other assets. So your monies in your bank account, your CPF monies, your investments, stocks, shares, all these things are all up for division.
How about your car?
So car usually a liability.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
So but the court wouldn't go like, okay, so you have this amount of Singtel shares, to divide macam gini and then decide for you, this one for you. No, they're going to do what the courts call a broad brush approach. So they're gonna evaluate in totality what are all the matrimonial assets, and then they will divide instead of doing a item by item thing. So
I
at the
see.
end of the day, it's just basically an amount that
Okay.
represent your share. So the thing is, sometimes this amount comes from the sale proceeds, the husband's share of the sale proceeds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes where maybe I've encountered cases where maybe at the point of the conclusion of the divorce, parties expected to have this amount of positive sale proceeds. Then okay, the husband's share ada enough to pay the nafkah ida, muta'ah and so on. But then they can't seem to agree on on the agent lah, the sale price lah, all these things, and
Yeah.
then the sale drags, and by the
Yeah.
time the negative sale already, so it becomes a
Yeah.
headache.
True. True.
And they come and
That's,
see a lawyer and ask what to do.
yeah. That's why it comes to divorce case. I'm not. I'm not myself lah. I become more stern because not because of what. In order for me, it's more a win-win situation for both. Not say win-win lah. I think so that people can move on, rather than
Mm.
they hate each other like nobody's business. But end of the day, if this process can be ironed out and can come to consensus, why not? So that people can move on, right? So but most of the cases I handle divorce unfortunately, the asset not much, or negative, or no money, no savings. How does that translate into nafkah ida, muta'ah and all that? Yeah.
So in deciding, when the court decides how much nafkah ida or muta'ah to award the wife, for example, they will take a look at the husband's assets lah. This is not only his take-home salary lah; it includes all his assets that are not liquid also. So they are not going to award us just because maybe for example, maybe the marriage is very long. Just because it's very long doesn't mean the wife is going to get so much when the husband doesn't earn that much lah.
Hmm.
So it should be equitable. It should be fair. It should be a reasonable sum for the husband lah most of the time. Yes.
There's one term apa tu
Hmm.
the Malay term called pencarian something something. I cannot remember.
Harta sepencarian.
Harta sepencarian. How do I translate
Yes.
that?
It's
Uh,
matrimonial asset lah.
matrimonial asset. So whether that is matrimonial asset. Harta sepencarian. Okay. So this one I think people need to understand. You also whether you, for husbands especially, correct me if I'm wrong, you may own certain things, but because the wife is actually a housewife, they also are able to claim against that, right? Am I right? Because it's
Yes.
harta sepencarian. Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting. Wow. I tell you, this one can be quite Uh, Anything you want to add, Hilia, when it comes to this kind of situation?
Well, I think I mentioned earlier about the long process, and then yeah, uh, I mean some may get even into what mental health concerns may come about also because of the additional stress that they are going through. Yeah, so there have been cases where uh, they get a breakdown and all that because of the
Hmm.
very long and very long process. Yep.
I think it's quite draining. I mean, just listening to it when as a real estate agent, listening to it, it can be very draining. You know,
Mm,
sometimes you don't believe it, but I tell you, these are really something that why I chose this topic is because I've seen too many.
mm,
Behind the scenes, there's a lot of things that's ongoing. It's not just about you know the lafaz. It's all about social impact. It's about the legality and it's about the long term mental health, like you say, that affect
mm,
the children and even the spouse, ex-spouse themselves.
mm,
And it can be terjebak in something that is not legal,
mm.
because a lot of things are really quite, especially with the pandemic. Oh yeah, talking about COVID, I know that Sharia court all closed, right?
Yeah,
Until last week, is it? So
Sharia
what
Court
happened
was
to this?
closed throughout the circuit breaker.
So what happened to these people who are, let's say, during the circuit breaker, somebody go and lafaz the cerai because they cannot stand each other in the house, for example. So how does it work? What happened? Do you have such cases?
They just have to wait until the Sharia Court opens.
Mm.
Yeah, they really just have to wait.
So counseling, does it go like
So
Zoom session and all that?
I don't
Yeah,
know, Kakak, if
for
you could.
Uh,
some sessions. I don't know about Sharia court counseling, but if you go to a family service center or any other counseling agencies, they might be able to do remote sessions,
what's the
consultation.
difference between Sharia counseling and what you just talked about?
Sharia counseling is mandatory, so the court has a team of counselors,
Mhm.
right, Amaina, to that sees this so-called divorcing couples lah. Of course, to
Different from
kind of
mediators. Are they the same?
no
Oh,
different,
wow.
yeah.
Oh
Mm.
my God. Okay, okay.
Yeah, I mean the whole idea is to see how the marriage can be safe lah.
Hmm.
Correct? Yeah. Mm.
So in fact, there's so many avenues for these people to actually seek recourse, lah, if I may say so. Before they actually make that decision. Uh,
Mm.
right,
Mm.
right. Interesting. So I mean, this is just sharing with the people out there that I think from Singapore Sharia perspective, I think as much as Islam benci penceraian, tapi there's always I mean, it's not right. This is what I quote from some ustads lah. If you cannot stand each other and your life not gonna be well for that matter, I think if you have to cerai, that is something that you need to do lah. Am I right? Yeah. But you must know the implication. You need to go through the process. And what we talk about today is the implication not only on children, on family, and all that, but more importantly, on your matrimonial asset, especially your home, because uh, 3 out of 5 cases I handle divorce are all negative sale. Okay, negative sale, which is also another stressful thing. And some okay, I have one recent case. Everything from the CPF refunded, supposedly CPF that's supposed to be refunded to the husband are now refunded to the wife. Is there such cases, Amalina?
Yeah, so it is also possible for the property, the flat to be transferred to one person
Hmm.
without any refund to the other party.
So
So
imagine
it's
the
subject
husband
to
had put in like 200 plus interest, he get back zero. Am I right?
yeah. There is a possibility lah
Okay.
because it will depend lah. It's basically a set off. Whatever that the wife is supposed to get from the husband in terms of the ida, muta'a and the division of assets, perhaps is set off by the husband's payment into the house, the CPF payment into the house. So in the end, macam you just have to transfer and then that's it. That's one
So in
example lah.
that situation, the wife become the sole owner. Am I right? And
Yes.
she has full right to the house, because
Mm.
I've got some cases that once that is done, they sell the house, and then everything actually goes back to the one that has the ownership lah.
Yeah,
Correct?
that's right.
Yeah. But of course, there's other terms and conditions. There's seller stamp duty applicable and all that lah, for those who understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, so right, important. I think it's wow. I tell you, if we keep talking, we will never end. So I better summarize a bit lah, because I think 9:45 just nice. I hope, I don't know. Did I see any questions? Not yet, but never mind. Good. There's one comment for you, Amalina.
Huh?
Yes, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So guys, out there, if you have any comments or any question, just put the comment box and show it, so that maybe if it's a question we can answer. But this one definitely not a question. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, okay. It's okay. Maybe I summarize a bit lah. You guys also think about something as a closing remark. Objective. I go back to the objective of this show. It's not about telling you. It's more about sharing. What we always sometimes share when we are at our parents' place. Less formal than this, of course. We discuss about certain things in more detail than what we do now. But end of the day, we believe that our diverse background has a common entity, which is people. Am I right? People, where people needs the people needs and wants and desires and aspirations. So it all boils down. It envelopes into this nice thing called real estate lah, because do a bit of koyo. So this real estate thing. So importantly, people out there, I think our main focus or main objective is to give a bit of clarity that such decisions should not be made out of anger, out of hatred, or all those negative things. I think things can work out. We are all human. I think we've seen too many that we are. It makes us a bit more understanding the process. I think it's very, very key. I mean, I'm glad that our different profession allows for different perspectives, so we can give it to the people out there. And of course, where real estate is concerned, please, I urge those people who have this kind of situation, seek professional help, whether it's a counselor, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a real estate agent, to see for me, from a real estate perspective, whether your sale will you make any money, or how much negative is your negative. Very important. And how fast you can sell your house, because it can, I mean, certain transaction drag over 2-3 years. Am I right? I tell you, it's really, really. I don't know how the mental capacity or the stamina that they have. I think is quite daunting lah. Okay, maybe Amalina, some closing remarks or any advice or any.
Okay. So I mean the title of today's conversation is Divorce Start of Your Property Nightmare. So I guess when we as married couples, you plan for your future together, kan? You have joined financial planning, asset building. You say, oh, let's buy this property, and then later we upgrade to this, so on and so forth. So I guess divorce disrupts these kind of plans. So as a legal professional, my job there is to it's like recovery lah. I make sure you know your options well, so that you know how to replan your future, basically. From if you were to talk from the real estate point of view lah.
Correct. It's a restart lah.
Yeah.
Hilya, anything to add?
I suppose, I mean, this is what I will normally share with parents lah, about, it's very easy to say, but I know it's very difficult for them to do. It's also how they need to be able to separate their emotions from the decision making process lah. Yeah, I mean, it's very hard, but that's why they need certain support or help from professionals, like you say, to allow them to make more informed decisions and keep the emotions apart. A lot of times, these decisions cannot be made because there's just too many. I mean, they want to have the last say. They want to be the one that wins the war, So yeah, so it's very detrimental to the surrounding people, environment, and themselves. So yeah, a lot of times we will coach parents or couples to kind of really just regulate their emotions first, so that they can make a better and more informed decisions lah. So
It's a very
yeah,
interesting word, regulates their emotion. Wow, interesting.
Wow.
you can do it by
Inspired.
breathing. Oh, okay.
I'm
Sorry,
very
sorry.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
true.
maybe less normal now. I think it's important. I'm very happy today because we just thought about this like 1 week plus, right? I just told Amal, maybe we should do this. Cakap adik beradik is like, because we have not seen each other for more than 3 months. I think, it's really how it's like we have never been away. Yeah, that's how we see. I think we miss Hadi, but yeah, hopefully he can join us in the next session. Of course, nothing is easy. What we share is based on our experience and our profession. Please, if you really need, please seek the right advice. Based on whatever people about property, about how counseling, and about legal. I mean, if you want, you can always PM us separately. I can hook you up with my siblings if need to. But most important, I think decisions should not be made with too much emotion. I think like Hilia said, more easier said than done. Yeah, we are also, but for me, from real estate perspective, I always look at the logical standpoint. To put it very crudely, I don't bother what's your plan, but end of the day, the numbers must be right for you. Because why? Your next plan depends on this. If you just because you want to so against each other, you make it difficult for your ex-spouse, but you forget that by doing that, you're making yourself difficult. So this is from experience. So important, not to worry. We are more than willing to assist when it comes to the details in the future. So, thank you very much, my sisters. I love you so much, Amalina and Hilia. Thank you for being part of my platform. I think I really appreciate. How do you the hell you do that? Okay, yeah, okay. Hey. How right? Oh, like that. Ayo, please, you all. Okay. So this is the Korean stuff, right?
Now you
Ayo.
macam
Ah, no.
pakcik-pakcik.
Anyway, like I said, we might have. I hope to do this maybe 2-3 weeks, once a month maximum, minimum. But I might have a guest in the next round. I think very interesting. Okay. Just to have a shout out there. I think the next round, more of property. Talk about property from the Islamic perspective lah. And then maybe Islamic and legal, and also implication where social is concerned. I think these are the things that we want to bring in, so that our conversation a bit more oomph, and then people can have better takeaways, right? Okay. With that, I think thank you very much for those who have viewed, those who have been with us for the last 1 hour. Wow. Okay. So hopefully you like
It's
and
way
share.
past Cakap's bedtime.
Huh? Oh, past your bedtime. Oh my God. Well, it's only 10
Cacap's
o'clock. What is
bedtime.
bedtime, man? My bedtime is 3 a.m. Anyway. Okay, like I said, thank you very much. Do like and share, do comment, and all that, so that we, if any feedback, let us know, or what topics you want to hear us talking about. More than happy to share. With that, I think my name is Nizam Adli.
Oh,
Hilia,
my name is
sorry.
Hilia.
And
Amalina.
One more time. Okay.
Yeah, the S.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, again, I need to sleep soon. Yeah.
Alright. So, thank you very much. Like I said, if there's any silap dan salah, minta maaf. My name is Nizam Adli.
Oh, say again. Hilia.
Ya Allah. And I'm Amalina.
Okay. See you in the next show. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Gini.